Welcome to r/RedditRevenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. Thank you friends for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. The first story, my brother and I caught a criminal swindler. The second story, everyone found out about the rats in the hospital after my visit. And the first story is, when you scam the scammer with police. This isn't my story, but it's my brother's. However, since we're very close siblings, he asked for my help to get the upcoming revenge, and this is how I know this story so well. This happened a couple of years ago when my brother was selling his brand new laptop he bought for work, shortly after he graduated college, with a degree in computer science. He's a smart MF. Anyways, he posted his new laptop on OfferUp, seeing as how the company that just hired him said they'd buy him an even newer computer because every employee needs this specific one, and the company provides it for them. So he gets a couple offers, all lowballing him. It's brand new and barely used, so he's not having it. But this one guy, we'll call him A-Hat, doesn't even make an offer, just asks if my brother uses Venmo, the money exchange app. At the time, my brother and I both used it to pay each other for phone bills and whatever else someone might owe the other person. It's pretty useful, so since we trust the app, he responds yes. The guy says he'll Venmo the full amount he was asking for right then and there. This is a 2015 MacBook Pro, and it's around August of 2017. So this model is still one of the best on the market at the time, worth almost $2,000. My brother was selling it for $1,500. To get $1,500 of the $2,000 would have been amazing for him, seeing as how no one's gonna buy his laptop at full price from OfferUp. My brother is stoked. He agrees, contacts the guy on Facebook, makes the transaction, and meets up with him to give the laptop to him, once Venmo notified him and said A-Hat has paid you $1,500. My brother is satisfied and moves on with his life. Later the next few days, he notices that Venmo never put the money into his bank account, and the app no longer said the money was paid to him. He called Venmo to ask them why, and they said that the funds bounced. He already gave the laptop to A-Hat. My brother is furious. He went off on them about why they would even have the app say the funds are available when they don't even know for sure. They told him it's a family and friends app to repay for little things, which only peeved him off more because that's just a stupid way to say, sorry we lost you money we said we had for you. So my brother tried to fix it himself. He tried contacting A-Hat to see if it was just a simple mistake on his end. Wouldn't you know, A-Hat deleted his profile on OfferUp and blacked him on Facebook. Just so you know, you don't just get a degree in computer science for free. My brother is one smart MF. He asked his coworkers at his job if they were also selling a computer they bought, since the company bought them all laptops. Some were selling theirs too, and he asked them if they were using OfferUp. One said he was, and my brother wanted to know if anyone had asked him if he used Venmo instead of making an offer. At first, he was confused as to how my brother knew that. He said the first response he got to his post was from someone asking if he used Venmo. His coworker never heard of Venmo before and just ignored it and waited for another offer. It all started to make sense to my brother now. This guy was scamming people of their stuff, very expensive stuff, and turning around and selling it even cheaper for a profit. So my brother sets up a little trap. Enter little bro, me. I just got out of the Marines and was attending college when my brother dropped this whole story on me. I was peeved. No one messes with my brother like that. So I'm already on board to get this dude. So the plan was simple. I made a post on OfferUp for the same laptop at a similar price and wait for one and only one response. Do you use Venmo? I was skeptical at first. My thought was, there's no way this guy is that dumb to use the same line in every scam. But thank God he was. Not even 20 minutes after I posted on OfferUp, and there it was. Do you use Venmo? I quickly text my brother with a simple got him, and he tells me exactly what to say to set up this meeting. I get out of school and we head over to the meeting together. On the way, he's asking me, should we just teach this dude a lesson? I mean, you know exactly how to mess someone up, right? They taught you that in the Marines, right? I've never seen my brother this peeved about anything before, but I'm on board all the way and I told him, well duh, but is it worth possibly going to prison over? I mean, I'll definitely do it, but this might bite back at us. Someone had to talk at least a little sense. My brother hearing that calmed down a little and thought it might be best to get the police involved. So we Googled where the nearest police station is to the meeting place, and I couldn't believe it. A-Hat lived right next to a police station. You can't make this SH up. So we went into the police station and told them the whole story, showed all the evidence we had on our phones, and said we already have a meeting set up and just want to bring him in and get the property back. They were surprisingly helpful. I didn't think they would be that quick to help us, but they didn't even hesitate. However, they told us we couldn't go along due to personal involvement, but they'll have 2 detectives handle it, so no one gets into a physical confrontation. But we persuaded them to let us ride along, so they know they got the right guy. The revenge. The time to meet had finally arrived. My brother's with one detective camped out up the street in a sleek black car, with all tinted, that just screamed I'm a cop, while I'm with the officers in a patrol car down the opposite side of the street. I told the cop about my service, and I can help if needed, but he insisted I stay in the car. I told him obviously if he's in trouble I'm gonna help, which he smiled and said he understood. Meanwhile, the other detective is waiting patiently for A-Hat. A-Hat sends me a text saying, "Sorry, I can't meet up, I don't have enough money," which I think, OSH, we're losing him. We didn't just go to all this trouble getting the police involved to back out now. Heck no. So I respond with, I can accept a payment plan. Half now, half later since I'm already here. I'm so GD glad. This guy is an effing idiot. How much more obvious can a trap be? He agrees and sends me what I assume is a fake amount of $680 of the agreed $1,300 and comes strolling out of his apartment, head held high like he's about to make the biggest payday ever. I hear over the radio from the detective who's waiting for him, got visual, blue shirt, camo shorts, making contact. The silence between those two phrases was deafening, but as soon as we heard making contact, the cop I'm with floors it from our position, flips the lights on, zips past 5 cars, and sees the dude standing in front of the detective making small talk. He jumps out and grabs the dude's arms, puts them behind his back and starts repeating himself. Don't fight back. Don't make this harder for yourself. Over the radio, the detective says detained. A-Hat goes bright white and is so confused and scared I almost SH myself laughing. The sleek black car my brother is in drives by, and I hear over the radio that's him. It was my brother. He was so pumped our plan actually worked. Shortly followed by the detective he was with, 100% confirmation, make the arrest and bring him in. They were actually really surprised at how well we set this up for them and how smoothly it went. They didn't have to do anything but show up and make the arrest. Not only did we have sufficient evidence that could grant a warrant easily, but we also had a confession from A-Hat himself. He literally told the cops, I still have his laptop. I think he thought giving it back would make it all go away. So A-Hat allowed them to enter his place to retrieve my brother's laptop. Back at the station, A-Hat is being questioned by police. Meanwhile, my brother's like, I just want my stuff back. So the cops raided A-Hat's apartment and forced A-Hat to give back my brother's $2,000 laptop. Luckily, he still had it, but we later learned that it was for sale on A-Hat's new OfferUp account. Afterwards, the police told my brother since he got his stuff back, there's not much else they can do except give him a citation and let the court system handle the rest. My brother sat and thought about it for a second, and he would not accept that. During the questioning, he opened the door to the questioning room to find the detective and officers all turning to the door, ready for a fight, then relaxing when they saw it was just him. Apparently, you don't want to just barge in unannounced. They don't like that. But he asks the detective to talk for a second. My brother goes over the evidence one more time and literally shows him the 3 times in 1 week that A-Hat has scammed people. 1, him, 2, his coworker, who luckily didn't fall for it, and 3, me, the setup. There's no way this guy hasn't been doing this for a while. The detective agreed with my brother that it's blatantly obvious this guy had a system in place, and they decided to do more digging. Last I heard, A-Hat owes $30,000 in stolen goods and is serving time in prison. I don't know for how long, but it felt so good to see the satisfaction on my brother's face. The second story is, you're being B/disrespectful to me? I'll let rats run wild in your hospital. I'm working at a disinfecting company. We're not huge, but we get an adequate number of clients. We also work against insects and rodents. So this is how it works. You call us, tell us how many square meters you want to be cleared, we tell you the price and you say yes or no. Now back to the story. About 2 months ago, we got approached by a hospital that was about to open. They had this problem with rats and wanted our help. They said that they wanted to have 4,000 square meters cleared. I was assigned to negotiate and communicate with them, so I calculated the costs and headed to the hospital to talk to them. When I arrived, they told me to go to the second floor to the room 208. I opened the door and there are like 15 women there. I asked for the one who called me, let's call her Brat, and she told me to sit down. I started talking to her about the price and couldn't help but notice that something was going wrong. She raised her eyebrow and squinted her eyes. Brat, excuse me, but you're not the first company we approached. We called 5 companies and your price is 10 times bigger than the most expensive one out of those 4. I got really confused. Our prices are very fair, and doing 4,000 square meters for the price she told me would be a suicide. Me, I can't speak for other companies, miss, but just think about it. 4,000 square meters at that price? They're spending 10 pennies on 100 square meters. I honestly don't know what they're using to kill the rodents at that cost. She got angry. Who said anything about 4,000 square meters? I won't let you work in the whole hospital. I have patients here. This isn't a bar where you can just go wherever you want to. I started getting annoyed with her, and all the other women were smirking and laughing amongst themselves. I cleared my throat. Me, miss, you sent us an email saying that you needed 4,000 square meters. I calculated the cost based on that request. If you think that I won't be able to work wherever the patients are, although our firm has worked closely with several big hospitals in the city, then just tell me how many square meters you really need and I'll adjust the price. I forced a smile here just to appear friendly. She scoffed and rolled her eyes. You really think I have time for that? Just do it yourself, gee. I breathed in very deeply to control my emotions and stood up. I'll inspect the building. The building is 6 floors, plus 1 underground, and I found rodent poop on each floor, yet no patients anywhere. I returned back to her, told her that I'd send her an email the day after and left. When I got back to the office, my boss, a very nice lady, asked me how it went, and I told her everything. She told me that she'd take care of it and let me leave early. The next day I went to the office. My boss waved at me to go to her office. When I walked in, she was on the phone with someone, who turned out to be a friend of hers and a boss of the brat. My boss explained the situation to her, and the lady said that she'd go down there and talk to her. Fast forward a month. I'm minding my business in the evening when I get a call. It's the brat. She's speaking to me in the nicest, most precious voice, asking me to take care of the rodent situation, as it got out of hand. Turns out that she didn't sign a contract with any of the 5 companies, and if only the first floor was problematic a month ago, now the rats were everywhere, and the hospital had to be opened in 2 weeks. I told her that I'd call her back the next day, as I needed to check my schedule. The next day I arrive to office. I go into my boss's room and tell her that the brat called again. She smiles at me and says, tell her that we're booked for 2 weeks. I get confused. Me, but won't they hire someone else? Boss, with the most evil confident smile. Nope. She picked up the phone, called her friend, and told her to make the brat sign a contract with us, and they did. That meant they couldn't hire anybody to do our job besides us. 2 weeks pass and I call the brat. Me, I can come today if you want to. The brat, yes please. I arrived there at 3 p.m. so that every patient could see me. I started walking around, laying the rat poison, and didn't hesitate to tell everyone, patient or staff, what it was if they asked me. The next day I'm in university, and during one of my classes, I hear 2 boys talking. Dude, did you hear about the new hospital? Turns out they're overrun by rats. My neighbor was there yesterday, and she saw this dude putting rat poison everywhere, and later that day she saw a rat in the parking lot. I'll never go there. That's disgusting. I got a semi hearing those words. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.